Okay homie, let's talk about derivatives. But first things first, let's take this initiative. You see, derivatives are the slope of a tangent line to a function. Now don't be scared that your brain will malfunction. We're going to break it down for you junction by junction. Yay! Hey. Alright. Now first is the exponent rule, but don't worry, this one's the least bit cruel. Homie, make that exponent backflip to the front of the number, yo. You got a problem if there's already a coefficient though. The solution's easy, you just gotta multiply them bro. But then you gotta subtract 1 from the exponent. Don't forget, that's a pretty important component. Product rule, let's jump in head first. First times the derivative of the second plus second times the derivative of the first. It works even if you do it reversed. Hold on, this isn't even the worst. Quotient rule requires you to be a little well-versed. If you take the bottom and multiply it by the derivative of the top, you subtract it by the top times the derivative of the bottom while you do a little bop. Then you really have to take it all in just to be fair. By that I mean you divide the whole thing by the bottom squared. You may be thinking this rap is getting a little dry. Don't fret, the natural log rule is pretty fly. It's just 1 over x, you don't even gotta flex. Remember this rule on the test and you won't get wrecked. Turn up. Now it might be getting a little hot because these bars I'm spitting her fire flame, but with the E rule coming up it should put some cool to all our names. Derivative of e to the x is simply itself. If you get it wrong, yo boy is gonna melt. Some indifference rule, you'll probably ignore it. Got more than one term? Now you gotta split it, differentiate each term, add them all together. See? This rule is as light as a feather. Let's get it. Aya. Woohoo! Now here comes the rule of the chain. And I'm not talking about the gold around my neck that I got from Spain. And I know you're gonna complain, cause this rule is kind of lame, but I don't blame. If you don't get it right, Mr. Ska will go insane. See, you got a function inside of another one. The differentiating process isn't really that fun. Differentiate the outside function while leaving the inside alone. Then you gotta multiply all that by the derivative of the inside as shown. Allow me to take the time to explain the trigonometric functions. These are pretty easy, so if you get this wrong you should feel a compunction. The derivative of sine is cosine, and the derivative of cosine is negative sine. Tangent derived would be secant of x to the 7 minus 5. To derive a cosecant you would take itself and multiply it by cotangent, that's its prerogative. And then you'd take the whole thing and make it the opposite of positive. Derivative of secant would be itself multiplied by a trig function known as tan. That comes out of nowhere but is important just like Batman. And last but not least, but to bid you adieu, the derivative of cotangent is negative cosecant to the power of 2. These are the rules that go along with derivatives. To be definite, a memorable learning experience although not entirely elegant. Which rule is your favorite? That is your preference, but you will have to use them all because they're integral to making math look effortless.
Turn up.